awarded in many spheres. Norrköping had its very own Nobel Prize winner in Hans Olaf Gösta awarded in 1970 for services to physics. Politicians have also been awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace on many occasions. But do they deserve it? The departments of the United Nations have won it on 10 occasions for their world peace endeavours, including one for its children's charity UNICEF in 1965.
Back in Liverpool, the model United Nations debates the current situation in the Middle East.
We want people to deserve the right to be happy. In Palestine today, countless numbers of children have this fundamental right rejected. Children live in fear of their lives because of the social conflict and bloodshed that their lives are so subjected to.
Israel regards people in the age bracket of 13 to 18 as being vital to its own development and the development of the international world. For example, Israel's Council of Youth Movements, which has been in existence since 1974, can demonstrate to all nations the values of discussion, debate and human respect when involved in face-to-face changes.
The fact that Israel allows Palestinian people into the hospitals in the first place should be commended. I think although it should be done, I think it shows that Israel is willing to. Israel doesn't hate the Palestinian people, doesn't hate Arab people, doesn't want them to suffer.
At the European Court of Human Rights, we interviewed Matilda, an international human rights lawyer.
Are there examples of the court witnessing damage to children's rights?
Children's rights are very important, and children and young people are vulnerable persons who cannot defend themselves. So somebody has to defend them, right? And there is a principle of protection of children. There is an obligation to protect children and young people.
We also discovered the Council of Europe was set up as a means of protection.
The idea was that the Council of Europe would be some kind of protection for democratic countries in Western Europe against what seemed to be like a communist threat. But we have two youth centres, one based in Strasbourg and one in Budapest, where young people are constantly coming to learn about being leaders and community activists, taking part in democracy.
We set out to discover who cares about young people's democratic rights. Our journey was long and varied, but what have we learned? The wheel has had to be constantly reinvented to allow democracies to develop and embrace new ideas.
Another idea was that there should be another way of voting, for example using the media, internet, by email, every kind of media.
In some countries where young people definitely don't have a voice, where young people are sent to work very early or don't have access to proper education, be that primary or secondary, so they don't have the education to give them the tools to be able to have that voice. It's absolutely vital that younger people from across the world can stand up for those other young people that don't have a voice.
Some people feel that the system is flawed because not everyone can participate actively in democracy.
For example, you have people in the countryside who don't really even have TVs, that have the right to vote, and what happens is you get politicians going there and giving them free stuff, and treating them like just to get their vote. And in the end you wonder, is that really a democracy? Like they're being persuaded into this, but they don't really think it.
Journalists and newspapers have a lot of responsibility to use that power in a good way.
There's always a chance that the government will be corrupted, but the chance for that is way smaller in a democracy. Because the democracy, it is still elected by the people. With tyrannies and with monarchies, the governors are just set up by other people or by a law or because they have royal blood in their veins.
As we discovered with Jenny Lind, music plays a great part in the development of our culture, our nations and in the lives of young people. The Beatles are a huge part of Liverpool's cultural heritage, and I wondered if John Lennon could have been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his philosophical song Imagine, which is known and revered by people of all ages throughout the world.
The vast advantages of being in Europe outweigh the sort of annoyance people have.
In each of the countries we visited, we worked as a team to perform a series of tasks. In Sweden, we baked gingerbread. In England, we built a stable construction using spaghetti and marshmallows. And in Italy, we had to protect a falling egg. At first, it seemed a totally unnecessary thing to do, but then we realised the